China's geography and climate are highly diverse. Many Chinese still live the traditional way of life, rising at dawn, going home at sunset, planting in spring, cultivating in summer, harvesting in autumn, and storing in winter. The cycle of the seasons has ruled the agricultural calendar for thousands of years. Compared to the agricultural past, the modern world is increasingly estranged from nature. When it comes to food, however, the Chinese have inherited the wisdom of their ancestors as if in a special gene. This is a story about time, about the relationship between the Chinese and nature. The Jiangguangsha Mountains lie beneath a blanket of snow over a meter deep. In the spruce forest, the timber cutters are at work on their final tree. Their captain, Li Shuguo, has 25 years of experience.
When this one falls down, it will crash into the other tree. Timber!
It is already the spring equinox, when the sun is directly over the equator. It's still rather cold here, though. As the food put by for winter is all gone, Li's wife, Qing Hongjie, leaves the mountain to do some shopping. In northeast China, a table of good food must include fish. As she stews the fish, Qing Hongjie pastes cornflour pancakes around the side of the wok. The appetizing aroma of the fish fills the kitchen just as the pancakes become savory and crisp. Minus 15 degrees Celsius on a March night. Just right for making frozen tofu. The low temperature freezes the water in the tofu, separating it from the protein. This gives the usually even tofu a sponge-like texture, which Li Shuguo prefers. 7 to 8 kilometers away, there is a spring that has never frozen. Local people call its water living water and consider it best for stewing fish. Hot water at once restores the original color and flavor of the dried vegetables that will accompany the stewed fish. They are also the most important source of vitamins during winter.
Give me your paw. We're back.
I'm home. Is my dad okay?
He's fine.
This fish is heated in oil and soon becomes dry and yellowish. Then the river water is added and it is slowly stewed. After half an hour, frozen tofu is added. The honeycomb shape of the frozen tofu swells as it absorbs the broth.
Let's have a toast.
A peaceful life.
The hot fish stew comes as the long winter is nearing its end. Over 2,000 kilometers to the south, The same spring equinox brings together masses of cool and warm air. On Mount Tianmu, the spring thunder awakens dormant life in the soil. Gao Baoliang is quick to recognize nature's signal.
We have to get up at 5 a.m. for over a month.
After thunder, we all go out to dig bamboo shoots.
They have come for the first batch of bamboo shoots, known to the locals as thunder bamboo shoots. Thunder bamboo shoots are edible only for the first 10 days. Any later, and they grow into bamboo canes. The shoots themselves don't remain fresh for long. They lose flavour dramatically from morning till night, and lose even more if kept overnight. Gao Baoliang and his wife never stop. At their busiest time, they dig 750 kilos per day.
Get ready, the basket is coming down.
In the mountains, every family focuses on the thunder bamboo shoots. The women cut off the roots and peel the skin to prepare them at maximum speed. Thunder bamboo shoots are crisp, tender and refreshing. They are always delicious, whether deep-fried, stewed, braised or simmered. Bamboo originated in China. In the city of Linan, 150,000 people make a living out of bamboo. This newly finished bamboo tray will be used to make a special dish. Simmering with spices brings out the bamboo shoot's flavour. Then they are torn into pieces the width of a finger and dried over a charcoal fire. In southeast China, bamboo shoots are the most popular finger food to have with tea. They are also the biggest source of income for Gao Baoliang and his wife. The thunder bamboo season ends after 1 month. But this is only the beginning of the gourmet story of the people of the mountain. Under the decayed branches and withered leaves, from a thin crack in the soil, the head of a bamboo shoot is waiting to emerge.
Dig the whole root out. This type of bamboo shoot grows deep in the soil. If we find them, we keep them for our own consumption. They taste tender and fresh.
Yellow bamboo shoots like this one are rare. You may find only 3 or 4 on a whole mountain. In texture, it is tenderer and crisper than any other spring bamboo shoot. It has the taste of pear. Yellow bamboo shoots quickly degrade. Every step from harvest to processing must be calculated to the minute. Yellow bamboo shoots are often cooked with cured pork. The pairing makes a great contrast, but the strong taste of the meat and the freshness of the bamboo shoots also combine with each other. The dish is steamed over a large fire for 7 minutes. This gourmet food, enjoyed exclusively by bamboo shoot growers, belongs to an extremely high realm of Chinese cuisine. So the most exquisite food goes to the hardest working people. Shen Denshu, a farmer in Shengbao village, uses another way to sense the changes of season. The Chinese almanac, completed over 2,000 years ago, guides farmers with 24 solar terms, corresponding to the weather in every part of the year. In March, when it warms up, it's time to sow pumpkin and towel gourd seeds and wait for them to sprout. When butterflies leave their cocoons in April, it's time to collect bamboo to use as stakes for Chinese yams. When the swallows build their nests in May, it's time to prepare rice shoots and spread manure. In summer, the corn ripens and it's time to harvest the towel gourds and pumpkins. Sow spring onion seeds in September and October and wait for them to grow the following spring. The 4 seasons come and go in their turn. Growing and harvesting by the season yields rich returns. After rice seedlings grow 5 or 6 leaves, they need to be divided and replanted.
When you plant rice seedlings, you need practice. Like with making tofu, you plant here, then there, and here.
Shen's son is far away in Beijing. He asked his daughter, who works in the provincial capital, to come home to help. He firmly believes that however far they are from home, his children will not forget that the land is the foundation of the family. While spring is the season of blossoms, the harvest is still a long way off. Yet nature offers edible wild vegetables of every kind. Wild celery and Artemisia selengensis are abundant beside Lake Poyang. Stuffed balls made from them are both delicious and full of the tastes of nature. In the northern mountains, it is a local custom to pickle lily magnolia buds. Siberian elm flowers steamed with flour are a gourmet memory for generations of local people. On Shangfang Mountain, an offshoot of the Yangshan Range, An De-wen is waiting anxiously. Chinese tun shoots, which should have grown during the 6th solar term, known as grain rain, have still not sprouted as summer approaches. Then, an amazing fragrance comes almost overnight.
We start before dawn breaks and finish at midday. It lasts about a week.
It takes only 2 or 3 days for Chinese tun shoots to grow, and they are overgrown after just 1 more day. These edible wild herbs, the width of a chopstick, grow only on the shady side of this mountain. Tun shoots have an unusual smell. Some people prefer to keep their distance, but others love it. For them, tun shoots are the taste of spring. China is the only country that considers tun shoots a delicacy. Coated in an egg and flour batter and deep fried, they are called Chinese tunfish. They can also be cut up for an omelette. Or mixed with tofu and a sauce dressing for a salad. They are all gourmet dishes for springtime. Two crops of Chinese tun in 2 weeks. The leaves are still growing, but they are no longer edible. For spring is gone. In Shangbao, the seedlings have taken root. Now Shun Den Shu is yearning for the spring rains. The Shun family decide to express their hopes in a delicious 9-layer rice cake. By grinding chives with rice from the previous year, they make green rice milk. By soaking ground tangerine in water, they produce a clay-like yellow. The 3rd layer is white rice. Lastly, they make an eggplant red, the color of jubilation. The layers are steamed one by one. The finished cake is called a jusangpi, which means simply 9 layers. From fresh green seedlings in spring to golden yellow husks in autumn, white rice is threshed for people to lead a happy life. The colours of the 9 layers represent the common hopes of all the rice-growing peoples in the world. It is already early summer when the rains and winds move north to the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River. In the clear waters of Lake Chendao, a delicacy is growing. One month ago, when the pine trees were pollinating, dry pollen from the male cones blew into the water, feeding the best quality Chinese carp. But the season for carp has not yet arrived. The Chinese word for season, shijia, also means the proper way and time to do things. And at the moment, the fishermen have another quarry. With the warmer weather, freshwater snails migrate from deep to shallow water. They have been the gourmet food in the lower reaches of the Yangtze since ancient times. People here are all good at eating snails. They hold them between their lips and gently suck the meat out so that it falls into the mouth. If you're not so skillful, you can use a toothpick. The snails have no special flavor, but people enjoy their texture and the challenge of sucking them out. However, the best snails hide deep in the mountains. Kaihua, source of the Chentang River. The streams in its deep valleys are Yu Yushan's hunting ground. Through a homemade waterproof mask which he holds on with his teeth, you can see the underwater world very clearly. Since he began working as a snail catcher, Yu has become an expert on the area's seasonal changes. The freshwater snails he catches are tender and soft, but a little bitter. At 5 a.m. every day, his wife leaves home to sell the snails at the market. Coming from very clean water, the long, thin, greenish snails are of very good quality and fetch a good price.
I'll weigh it for you. Please, have a look.
The best accompaniment to Greenfield snails is a bunch of purple perilla, which enhances the fleshy taste.
He comes back at 3 or 4 in the morning. When my phone rings and it's from him, I start getting nervous. When my daughter comes home, I cook this dish for her.
Because of their different daily schedules, lunchtime is the only time for the family to get together.
The dinner is ready.
老婆，这一样的，2个星期不回头，一样是到国民党听个啦。
It seems to their daughter that her father has been sound asleep all summer. But Greenfield snails sleep in the daytime and come out at night time. Yu Yushan must seize his opportunity before the water gets too cold. Nightfall is his best harvest time. His hazardous snail hunts will last throughout the summer. The sunshine and warmth encourage the growth of edible plants and bring a world of colour. Boosted by water from the melting ice, everything comes into blossom as part of an endless cycle. Photosynthesis accelerates the ripening of plants. Different crops mature in turn as they respond to the increasing temperature. With the sun, sugar accumulates in fruit, and fresh fish can be dried for preservation. Lanyu, a volcanic island of just 45 square kilometers, has been the home of the Dawu ethnic minority for generations. During the flying fish season, from March to June, the men's hearts all beat faster. To avoid predators, flying fish have evolved a unique skill. They work their tails to launch themselves above the surface and glide through the air on their pectoral fins. The fishermen tread water hard as they close the net. It takes excellent teamwork to ensure a good catch. But in the opinion of Babu's grandfather, this fishing carnival by the young men is disrespectful to the sea. For the Dawu people, the flying fish is not only a food, but a god. Commercial overfishing has affected the ecological balance in the sea around Lanyu. The situation only began to improve a few years ago. The Dawu use 13 types of timber to build a boat, and they use these distinctive boats to catch flying fish. A catch of 5 or 6 fish in a day is enough for a family. After that, they can go home. Only at the end of the fishing season do the Dawu catch more, so that they can dry their catch as a supply of protein. It's not complicated to dry fish. They are salted, tied in bunches with linto tree roots and hung in the sun. After 3 days, they are a delicacy. Simple food and a good life. Grandfather, who is the closest of all to the sea, knows very well how people can live in harmony with nature. Another day's fishing is over. The sun shines bright on the freshly caught fish, as if blessing the bond between the Dawu, the sky, and the sea. If sunshine is essential to life, so is water. Rainfall in China is highest in the southeast, but gets progressively less as you head northwest. Tulufan, an oasis in the Gobi Desert, is very dry. It is the hottest place in China, yet life has not died out there. Water from melting ice in the Tian Mountains can work miracles. This is the sweetest place in China. Under the low grape trellis, Ali Dan's family enjoys the happiness of harvest time.
Our family of 7 all rely on our vineyard for a living.
Tulufan seldom sees a cloud. With the combination of year-round sunshine and active photosynthesis, its grapes accumulate a rich sugar level. The cool nights limit evaporation, helping preserve the sugar. The secret of China's sweetest grapes is this great difference in temperature between daytime and night. Picked grapes are hung in drying houses, which are ventilated with countless square openings that allow hot air to circulate. For these grapes are to become raisins.
Each year, we work in the vineyard from March until November. We come around to touch the grapes gently many times, as if they were our own children.
Finally, the grapevine owners can rest and wait for the taste that develops with temperature and time. 1 month later, another kind of sweeter grape is ripe. Its sugar content is as high as 30%. Yibibula wants to use its juice to make ma ren tang, Xinjiang nut cake, a delicacy with extremely high calories. After being boiled for 4 hours at 115 degrees Celsius, 90 kilos of grape juice are reduced into 30 kilos of syrup. Freshly baked walnut kernels, fragrant and crisp, are added. Evenly mixed nut cake must be cut while it is hot. In the rest of China, this food is called chiagao, cake candy. This most characteristic dessert of the western regions is also an important source of calories for the locals. While the nut cakes are being made, Tulufan's grapes have changed their appearance. Their moisture content has gone down to only 20%. while their sugar content has increased to as much as 60%. They are now raisins, available in all 4 seasons. A pot of Xinjiang hand pilaf is the highlight of the biggest celebration of the year. The lamb fat will help convert the carotene in the stripped carrots into vitamin A, which the human body can absorb. Tomatoes and radish turn the rice a bright orange yellow. The sweet and sour flavour of the raisins complements the full flavour of the mutton. The combination not only eases the richness of the meat, but also adds layers of taste to the dish. As long as we treat nature and the seasons with trust and respect, every dish, every family will always have the sweetest reward. Let's return to stories of summer. It is only in high summer, when the water temperature is higher than 18 degrees Celsius, that a particular delicacy grows beneath the water. The confluence of the Yangtze and Qingyi rivers is at Lake Wuhu. Chef Shu is kneading the dough into snowflakes to make knife noodles. Press hard, roll it out, and then cut it. Soft and smooth, knife noodles are the main snack in Wuhu all year round. Yet, to really enjoy them, you must be patient enough to wait for summer's hottest days. Freshwater prawns are starting to reproduce. Mother prawns, 4 to 6 centimeters long, carry up to 1,000 prawn roe. Cylindrical prawn traps were set last night at a spot where the river flows slowly. Now they are full of prawns. The prawn roe are sieved out with a bamboo basket. A kilogram of prawns yields just 50 grams of prawn roe. So only about 8 kilograms of roe can be collected in the whole summer. Soak the roe in ginger sauce and steam them with rice wine until the mixture is done. Put them in the sun for half an hour and dry them out over a low heat. Lastly, add some unpeeled garlic cloves and seal the bag to preserve the roe. The river town in high summer. Knife noodles boiled over high heat are mixed with chopped spring onions, soy sauce and bone soup. 100 grams of noodles, 10 grams of prawn roe. The prawn roe and bone soup make a perfect match in a white, savoury soup. Noodles with prawn roe. For Wuhu locals, it is some compensation for the heat at the height of summer.
Noodles with prawn roe.
The Chinese have a unique sensibility to time. Butterflies coming out of cocoons, flowers blooming and fading, yellow grass returning to green, all are footsteps of time. As the seasons change, the Chinese go on looking for gourmet foods. Lake anchovies in springtime. Dried bamboo shoots stewed with chicken in summer. In autumn, heads from plump fish. And the best dish in winter must be hot pot. Though our lives are less and less in touch with nature, through the changes in our food, we can sense the passing of time and the turning wheel of the seasons. The fish in Lake Chendao have been nourished from spring to summer. Now they're fat and their season has arrived. The huge net is pulled in by dozens of fishermen. The catch is a fisherman's dream come true. The seine netting is the overture to a great harvest. The Chinese believe that honouring the agreement with time and the seasons will bring a great return in autumn. The air is full of a tantalizing aroma. In the Wujiang district of Suzhou, people collect sweet osmanthus so it can blossom a second time on the tongue. Lime juice preserves its fragrance and colour. Whether as salted osmanthus or as sweet osmanthus sauce, it can extend the fragrance of late summer and early autumn into late autumn and midwinter. After the autumn rains, the sight of the returning geese reminds young Fuxing that a highly anticipated delicacy is springing up.
In each August of the lunar calendar, wild geese fly to our area. You can find the mushrooms under the pines or the chestnuts.
The humble brown mushroom, Lactarius deliciosus, has been regarded as a delicacy for centuries. Although they are not as popular as they once were, when the time comes every year, young Fuxing goes up the mountain to collect his mushroom treasures. Over a fire of chestnut shells, young Fuxing deep fries chilies, then adds slices of tender ginger. All of these enhance the fragrance of the mushrooms, reminiscent of pine needles. With a little light soy sauce and dark soy sauce for colouring, cook over a slow fire for at least 10 minutes. When the juice looks thick and sticky, the mushrooms are ready to be taken out of the wok. Though the sauce looks heavy, the texture is tender, but the dish is still only half complete. The sweet osmanthus from before the rain has been preserved until after the rain. It has a very special flavour, whether used as stuffing or seasoning. Fresh chestnuts are the ideal accompaniment to chicken. Fried tofu, pork and pig liver bound with cleaned pig intestines will satisfy any appetite. Eating hearty foods in autumn compensates for loss of appetite in midsummer and prepares you for winter. It's traditionally called building up fat in autumn. Changdang Lake, about 50 kilometers away. Ducks that have been laying eggs for at least 3 years make the best accompaniment to brown mushrooms. Stew the duck meat with the mushrooms. The contrast between the two gives a unique flavour. Such collisions of ingredients from the same season make the flavours of autumn exceptionally rich. Chinese chefs rely on their rich experience to find exciting combinations of seasonal ingredients which they pass down from generation to generation. Autumn is the season of the rice harvest. After the autumn equinox, the black soil is stacked with paddy rice, which needs to remain in the sun for 2 weeks. The unique soil and climate make the rice here highly nutritious. After hulling, the rice is hard, translucently white and perfect. It's the best rice in China, with a growing period as long as 138 days. The harvest is still going on, even as the temperature falls below zero. "3,000 kilometers away, in the wake of a bumper crop, the autumn winds howl in Shangbao, and Shun Denshu's grandson has begun his life's journey. With the harvest in, the family celebrates the baby's first month by inviting relatives and friends to a feast. The almanac is consulted to find the most auspicious date. The menu will follow the tradition of 5 big bowls and 4 platters per table, with a number of meat dishes testifying to the sincerity of the hosts. Autumn is the time to take stock of the year's harvest. Spring is for sowing, summer is for working. When autumn comes, take in the grain and welcome new children and grandchildren. For the Chinese, autumn is the season of rewards. Winter arrives first in China's northeast. The snow has fallen and the land is frozen. Li Shuguo and his wife store away food to tide them over the long winter. Winter is not only the rest time for the soil and the crops, but also the season for people who have been busy all year to return home. Before the Chinese New Year, hundreds of millions of people leave their workplaces for home. They travel thousands of kilometers by every means of transport, taking simple belongings with them. All this for a symbolic family reunion, the New Year's Eve dinner. This is the mark that China's agricultural civilization has left on modern China. It is also the end of our story of seasons. Today, everyone has his own sufferings and joys. Chinese people always hide the pain in their hearts, but they show their happiness in the food on their tables throughout the 4 seasons. Like it or not, life constantly urges us to take the next step. From migration to the logistics of food, from the evolution of culinary techniques to the many paths down which fate might lead you, the rapid pace of life brings endless separations and reunions, joy and sadness.